Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to this session of our Study Abroad University and Pathway Fair. We are hosting Kaplan International Pathways today, and joining us are Hopewell and Olubusola. Hopewell is the marketing manager for West Africa, and they're here to tell you about Kaplan Pathways, the application process, and our team at Newbie Education is here also to assist you in any information or questions that you may need or have about the application and visa process as well. So welcome, Olubusola and Hopewell.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nubi, for hosting us. Hi, Busola. Can you say hello to everyone?
Okay.
Okay, so my name is Hopewell. I'm the West Africa Marketing Manager for Kaplan International Pathways. And with me here today is my colleague, Olubusola Fadehan. We also have our regional director in this meeting today by the name of Ditomi Oshusedo, who will say hello when she is able. We're happy to be here today to talk about education, pathways education to be precise. And we're quite excited about this because in our region, we have many students who have finished their WAEC or who have yet to get into university that are candidates for the pathway program, which we would love to talk about. So Kaplan as an organization covers UK and US regions, and we'll be talking briefly about these pathways, just in case you're interested in our US schools as well. So who are we? What does Kaplan do? What does Pathway stand for? We're actually the leading provider for global education around the world. And we believe that students, irrespective of where you are, what country, in this case, wherever you are in West Africa, you're able to achieve your goal of wonderful education and to also empower yourself through this means. We have the Pathway program, which enables students who have finished their WAEC or OND to get into university through any of our pathways routes, known as the Foundation, the International Year One. Or for university graduates, we also have the pathways for them, known as the pre-master's routes. Or the PhD aspirants, we also have the pre-doctorate routes. We'll be talking about these routes shortly. But like I mentioned earlier, we partner with top schools in the US and in the UK as well. Next slide, please. So there's actually a video, but because of the internet, we may not want to play that today, just so that we can enjoy the program better. Or if we're able to play without disrupting that, do you want to try, Busola? Or we can just move on to the next slide.
Can everybody hear the sound?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Education starts at home. It's led by curiosity, a quest for knowledge to better understand the world around you. Its cultures, its sights and sounds. You'll meet people along the way. People who make a difference. Who are there to listen to your hopes and aspirations. Who welcome you, who encourage you, and support you in achieving your full potential. Who guide you on your path. It won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. And you'll make new friends, friends from across the world who share your ambitions. You'll have fun, and most importantly, you'll learn so much on this life-changing adventure.
Interestingly, we had the end of that video asked the question, where will your curiosity take you? We can say today your curiosity has brought you here. The Newbie Education Fair, where we're talking about Pathways Education today. So a Pathways course, like I mentioned earlier, is valid for students who have finished with their WAEC because of the fact that they want to get into university, and so they want to take that route to make it easier for them by doing a foundation program or an international year one to achieve their university study aspiration. They can take this course before starting the degree, university degree, of course, and also if they hope to do a master's or PhD. So why should you study for a pathway course? It's actually a preparatory course that leads you into your chosen university course choice, and it helps you to qualify for your preferred degree, and you also gain entry into top universities abroad. So for instance, you want to study at the University of Glasgow or Liverpool, you may not be able to get in with your WAEC, but when you do a pathway course like a foundation program or an international year one that can lead you to University of Birmingham, you are then able to progress into the university of your choice. Meanwhile, I just want to state that the universities I've just mentioned here are part of our partner universities. We have more, as you will soon see. Next slide, please. So like my colleagues have, if you notice in the chat area, you've been asked to drop any message you have or any question you have in the chat area. So in Kaplan, Kaplan is one, like I said, the leading pathway education provider in the world. Our aim is to help you to learn your way. As you do this, as you prepare to study in the university, you learn your way by following the appropriate route, which is the pathway program that we have on offer. Our courses are actually designed with international students in mind, which you are one of, and you are able to join us by preparing ahead to develop academic skills, English language level, and the subject knowledge in the area of your chosen career or course. We have professors, experienced teachers at these pathway colleges that teach you, and our small classroom sizes ensure that you get the attention you need as a student. Our personal tutors also help our students to enjoy the pastoral care that we provide at these colleges that are embedded in our universities. We also have the standalone college that we'll be talking about later. We have excellent learning resources. Students who study via the pathway program under the college would have access to facilities that the university students also access, like the library, the gym, and other facilities that you find enjoyable during your course at the program. If you take a look at what one of our directors, our college directors have just said by the side there, we'll see that learning through these routes and with all these facilities that we've prepared for you helps to inspire you and to prepare you fully for your university program. Also, the teachers who will be tutoring you are experts in their fields. Most of them are professors, and you'll find their support really helpful. Next slide, please. So like I said, just to expand a little bit on the support aspect, we offer support to you every step of the way. For instance, what we've done now is a support to give you information that you need before moving. We have our able partners like Newbie Education, who organizes important fairs like this to draw students, parents, and interested inquiries closer in order to get valid information they might require before traveling. Even before you arrive the UK, we'll start the support from here. After the fair, we help you to make your application through our our partners like Nubi. You apply for your program, you get your offer of admission, and through the process, they'll help you even to book your accommodation. And by the time you obtain your visa, you'll be also guided on the pre-arrival steps you need to take. We extend our support to the airport in the UK. Our colleagues over there will help you to settle in nicely by picking you up from the airport and helping you to also get the link or informing you about the welcome event date so that you can attend this alongside your parents if they are available. There are also social activities that you can benefit from even during your course. And our staff are always on ground. The staff of the college, the staff of Kaplan, and the university staff eventually will be ready to help you with anything you need. So the support is all the way, like we mentioned earlier. We have one of our very experienced head of college services, Ms. Gay Harrison. I've met her personally. She's a mother. She's very, very hands-on when it comes to supporting you. And she has this to say, that there will always be someone to help you as you progress through your studies in the UK. We're here to guide you to achieve your academic goals and to ensure that you have a rewarding, fun-filled and memorable experience. Gay was the head of college services for a very long time at the Liverpool International College and right now at Nottingham International College. Next slide, please. So let's talk a little bit about Kaplan Living, because in order for you to attend classes, be a total student and enjoy your process as your learning process in the UK under one of the Kaplan schools, you need to have somewhere to lay your head, known as accommodation. We have nice accommodation packages at all of our colleges, whichever one you choose. These are available for students of every course and every pathway. Remember, we mentioned different pathways. We have the foundation, the international year one, the pre-masters and the pre-doctorates. For all of these programs, we have accommodation packages available. Whether you're 16 or 17-year-old, 21 or 23, or even above that, we have accommodation packages for you. These accommodation packages, just like the courses, are specially designed for international students and for your comfort as well, to help you relax and refresh while you learn. There is high quality housing at convenient locations, which you will be very happy about. Trust me, when you see some of the accommodation, you want to choose some of the schools just because of that. And this is a very salient aspect because a well-rested head can think clearly. But if you do not like your accommodation, it may affect your studies. So this is also an aspect to consider when choosing a school in the UK. We have study routes that I have mentioned before. So just to break it down a little bit for your understanding. Okay, so yeah, I'm already on the next slide. Thank you. So by the time you complete your high school program, you need to do the UK via IELTS exam in most cases if you're going for the foundation program. And then you progress to either the international year one or the bachelor's degree year one, and then year two and year three, which is you graduating. We also have the international year one route, which also applies to students who have just finished their high school, but with very good grades. And you need to also do the UK via IELTS. But for some in this program, we usually exempt it if your result is not up to 2 years. Yes, you can be exempted from writing the UK via IELTS. So check with the counselor that is actually guiding you in your admission process to know whether you fit into this. And if you're going through the international year one route, you'll be doing 3 years in all. That's 1 year international year one and 2 years university, after which you graduate. So yes, this is a kind of fast route for some students, but then let's not just focus on the fastness of the route. We need to know if you are actually qualified for this so that you do not struggle when you get to school. Even if it may seem as though you would like that study route, we usually advise that students who go through the international year one route after their high school have very good grades and may at least choose one of our mid-ranked universities for this purpose. We also have the pre-masters for students who have finished their first degree and come out with a third class. And we'll consider some passes as well. Yeah, so we don't encourage students to score low, but then when it happens, what next? You can actually pick up and move on. So the pre-masters route affords you that opportunity. However, the pre-masters route is not just for people who haven't scored well. If you want to study in the UK and you require a soft landing, you've not studied under a British curriculum before, it's kind of a soft landing for you when you go through the pre-masters before delving into your masters proper, to avoid the effects of culture shock on you, and to also help you cope better when you get into your masters program. So through your pre-masters years, you would have acclimatized them better before you get into your master's program proper. The pre-doctorate also is a very handy program that helps our students who want to get into the PhD program at the university. They are assured of getting a supervisor. So we assist with that. And if you're interested in any of these studies, you can contact any one of the Kaplan team or the newbie counselor you are speaking with. So these are our postgraduate and doctoral pathway options. Yes, so we've come to the part where most people will be very much interested in the fees. Fees are, range from one part to the other. We have fees as low as £12,500. We have fees of 13,500. If you're going in January, you can get fees as low as that. And we have like our Russell Group schools, our top Ivy League schools, we have fees that are up to like £20,000. And by the time you add other things, you see that it's actually worth it. You'll be considering things like the course length, the subject, and the study location in determining whether you're going for any school. And also the fees also are contingent on these factors. For the university, slightly higher than the pathway. So you're looking at, some universities can do as low as £13,500, while we have universities that are up to 21, 22, £24,000, depending on your degree subjects and the caliber of school. For living expenses, the UKVI requires that you have some money in your account to show that you're able to take care of yourself in the UK and pay for your accommodation, living costs, feed properly as a student. So for outside London, you're looking at just a little bit over £1,000, and for schools in London, which is a more cosmopolitan area, you're looking at up to £1,300. So yes, I mean, you can get a more streamlined guide when you're talking directly with your counselor, or when you engage in the visa counseling session. When you're engaged in the visa counseling session, just to determine if you're ready to join us for the program, for the intake you have chosen. So here are some of our universities. We have University of Birmingham, we have Bournemouth, we have Brighton, City University London. For the postgraduate students, Cranfield University, Glasgow, Liverpool, Nottingham, Bristol, Westminster, and University of Essex as well. So like I mentioned, we work with a wide array of schools to help you achieve wherever you want to study, and for the appropriate program as well. So the beauty of having this kind of conversation with you today is that we can rub minds and speak one-on-one, answer your questions. So if you do have any questions in the course of this presentation, kindly feel free to drop it in the chat area. Next slide, please, Bisola. Please feel free to drop it in the chat area, and we'll try to answer every question as much as possible. Next slide, please. So digital learning. Some people ask us about digital learning in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic and the the effect it has had on so many things, including education. We have had to adjust on how we run our programs, our learning. So we're still practicing the blended learning style, which sees students being able to study online, starting their study online, and then traveling on at a later date to join to continue their course at the face-to-face on a face-to-face level. So right now there may be there used to be more travel restrictions, but students are able to travel better now, although there are guidelines surrounding this traveling. For instance, right now, if you're traveling as a student to any of our colleges, you need to follow the government regulation of ensuring that you quarantine for a number of 10 days. When you get to the UK, you can actually quarantine in your accommodation, and that makes it easier for you because Nigeria still falls under the amber listed countries, not the red listed. So you're able to quarantine in your accommodation. So just like I have mentioned earlier, students are able to start online and then travel to continue with their study. It is not actually permitted for students to study online all through, because originally what you've applied for is not an online program. There are online programs that you can apply for and finish in country, but then if you're applying to study in the UK via any one of our colleges, you need to bear in mind that you eventually have to travel. So even if you start online, the aim is to start online, meet up with the deadline of the enrollment date, and then travel at a later date to continue. For students who are applying currently, that are starting with us in the autumn intake or the January intake, you should plan to travel no later than before April 2022, so that we are covered by that guideline on ground. All our programs, whether you start it online and continue face-to-face or you start face-to-face, are world-class, and we maintain the same quality. So there is no question of the quality of the pathway course you are studying or the university degree that you are progressing to. Next slide, please. We do have, for the purpose of this event, Anubi is a very wonderful partner who actually pushed these schools forward for your to make it easier for you to apply. We are able to grant some scholarship, early payment scholarship to some of the students. If you're looking to join us in January, we're already offering an instant £1,500 scholarship. And for some of our schools, we may be able to do £2,000 if you are applying to any of the Russell Group universities. So please take advantage of these scholarships that are currently on offer and that are for the purpose of this program. We advise you to speak to your counselor, get your application in on time so that you can benefit from this. We also have progression scholarships. By the time you're finishing your pathway program, some of our university partners are able to offer you scholarships, especially if you do well. So please, if you're studying for any of the pathway courses, ensure you try to score as much as possible, score as well as you can, so that you're able to benefit from these progression scholarships as well. There are no exact figures attached to this progression scholarship, so it's totally at the university's discretion. But I might want to hint you that some universities have given up to £3,000 scholarship for progression students, and depending on how exceptional you are as a student, you might even get more. So why not take advantage of it? Next slide, please. All right, so thank you for listening to me. Busola, my colleague, has been patiently waiting to take on this part of the program known as Living and Studying in the USA. So she'll talk briefly to you about our schools in the US. Thank you.
Thank you, Hopel. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon again. My name is Busola, and I'll be talking to you about our US options. So primarily for the US, we have undergraduate and we have postgraduate options. And for undergrad, I know Hopel has talked mostly about pathway programs, but one thing I want you to go away with is that for the US, we focus primarily on direct entry as direct undergraduate options, and we also have direct postgraduate options. So quickly, we look at the undergraduate options. We have the undergraduate pathway, but in most cases, you most likely will get a direct offer. But if there's a need, then we can do the undergraduate pathway program. So we need secondary school. The criteria for this is for you to have finished secondary school, as if you're looking at a bachelor's degree, and we will need a completion of high school with 2.0 GPA minimum for most of our universities. Sorry, I might need to confirm that's 2.0. It's on a case, it depends on the schools, but we'll look at the schools shortly so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So we also have graduate pathway options, and we'll be looking at for direct entry, not pathway. These are the pathway options. You can either do a pathway program or you can do a direct entry. But in most cases, we look at direct entry. So minimum entry requirement for graduate pathway is 2.5 GPA, and a master's degree is usually between 1 to 2 years, depending on your course. Now for direct admission for most of our schools, it's looking similar, but I know that for most of our undergrad, undergrad, minimum GPA is 3.0. And we also accept TOEFL, or you can do the Kaplan internet test. It's a free English language test to meet the English language requirements. Minimum entry requirements, we seem to keep going on minimum entry requirements, but for direct entry into any of our US partners, you need 3.0 GPA, 3.0 at the least GPA, and we need your high school transcript, the last 3 years of high school. We need high school transcripts. So let me quickly go to the fees now. The fees range between £10,000 to about £41,000. Yeah, sorry, dollars. Dollars. We've been saying a lot of pounds. $10,000 to $41,000, and this usually depends on what program you're doing, how long the program is for, and what university. So we'll look at some of the universities shortly, and I will explain to you. Basically, why do you need to study in the UK, in the US? US is one of the biggest economies in the world, and we have incredibly successful companies there. It's very open to international students, and over the years, it has been a big source of a big study destination for international students. So life in the US is generally, students look forward to studying in the US. Now, our US partners. Number one US partner that I would like to introduce today is Arizona State University. It's in Phoenix, it's in Arizona. We have undergrad and postgraduate options for this university. It's a university that has 5 campuses, and each of these campuses are all around Phoenix. The Lake Havasu campus, which is the cheapest campus. Also, you can get tuition fees for as low as $10,000. This varies from campus to campus, but I'm just saying that for the ones for Arizona State University, it's possible for you to get tuition fees of up to $10,000. Next, we have Simmons University, and Simmons University is in Boston, Massachusetts, and Simmons is an all-female university. Somebody asked me, what is that? Yes, you just heard it. It's an all-female university for the undergrad program. You ask me, why do they focus on women only? That's because they cater to it. They focus on women leadership. So the plan is to build women to occupy leadership positions, such as government positions, top positions, or if you want to, whatever you want to do, but they focus on women in leadership. We also have Pace University that is in New York, and last but not the least, we have the University of Tulsa, which is in Oklahoma. So Very quickly, I'll just look at a few selling points. We might not be able to touch on all of them today. I believe that after this presentation, it will also stimulate some interest from your end to actually check the ranking, check out some of these universities that I just mentioned. But Arizona State University, it's number one. It's the number one university in the US for innovation, and it's 90% of the graduates have a job within 90 days of graduation. It's open for undergraduate and graduate admissions. Like I said earlier, it's in a cosmopolitan area. It's in a very warm part of the US, so you don't have to bother about. It's in a very warm, similar to the Nigerian climate, which you will find very welcoming. We also have Simmons. Like I said, it's in Boston. Boston is home to other universities like Harvard. Simmons is, we have courses such as nursing and a few pre-med courses that are, quite popular. So if you're interested in nursing or you want to do any other pre-med courses, or maybe it's business or finance or anything related, we also have this available at Simmons, or engineering. We have it available at Simmons University. Okay, I preempted my slides, but these are some of the common majors at Simmons University. The courses that are available: psychology, political science, data science, and minors. We also have, I think to mention, we have, okay, yes, I mentioned the nursing program already, and the engineering program, which you can start off at Simmons and finish at the University of Columbia. It's not on this slide presently, but I know we have that option available. Now, tuition fees for Simmons. For Simmons, we have a 50% scholarship available. Don't forget that this is all women, undergrad only option. There is a postgraduate, they have a postgraduate school, which is actually co-ed, that's mixed, men and women, but for the undergraduate, it's only women that are eligible for the undergraduate. So there's a 50% tuition scholarship that is available, and the current tuition stands at about $40,850. With the tuition, with the scholarship, that's about $20,425, and with accommodation, you're looking at about $15,200. Amount of funds to show for proof of funds when applying for your visa is $46,268. So that is very interesting for Simmons. Then we have Pace University. Pace is in New York. New York is in the heart of US, and you have so many financial companies available. So I'll recommend this for students who wish to do like business and finance courses, undergraduates and postgraduates. There's opportunity for you to do your internships, gain work experience while you are studying at the same time. So Pace is also one of the schools we work with. Then undergraduates, there's University of Tulsa. University of Tulsa is in Oklahoma. Tulsa, it's a top 15 university. They're very good for engineering courses. So if you want to do mechanical, petroleum engineering, this is the university to be in. So I've just come to the end of my overview on the US universities. I'm sure there's still more, but just to give you a quick summary, what we're here to do is support you at every point, at every step of the way. Whatever your dream is, if it's to achieve, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to study, we're here to support you right along the path. So how do you start? Simply, you need to make an application. You can do that. You make your application through Newbie Educational Counseling. You can contact them. Oh, I'm interested in this school, and they can give you all the requirements to make an application. you receive your offer letter, you accept it. There are different points along the way, but we're here, essentially, we're here to support you throughout this journey and helping you to achieve your dream as much as possible. So on that note, we've come to the end of the presentation and we'll be taking the questions now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Olubusola and Hopal, for your presentation. It was a very good presentation and I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. I'm sure that our participants did also. We have a few questions that have actually come up in the chat box during the presentation. We have a question saying, is the UKVI IELTS the only English test that I can take?
Okay, so I'll take that. No, we also accept other form of English tests. Let me just clarify that the UKVI IELTS is an immigration requirement, so it's not the school mandating you to do this. So they have also approved other English tests like the Pearson Academic UKVI. You're able to do Pearson and the result actually comes out faster than the UKVI IELTS. For IELTS, UKVI, you should be getting a result in 2 weeks. However, for Pearson, you should be getting it in a matter of hours, maximum of 2 days. A minimum of about 9 to 10 hours. So the choice is yours. If there's no rush, yes, you can always do the UKVI IELTS, but the person is also there for you to register for.
Great. So we also have another question that says, how long do I have to wait for my admission to access my documents before making a decision?
Sorry, if I get the question correctly,
I can read it out.
Okay, how long do I have to wait for admission to assess my documents before making a decision? We have an SLA of 48 hours. So if all your documents are right and we submit the 2 days, that it's a decision on your offer, on your application rather. So it will likely be an offer, whether conditional or unconditional.
Thank you, Hopal. There's also a question that says, can I get, I mean, you've touched on this before, but I guess you can expand. It goes, can I get a scholarship at Kaplan School and at the university? Is it guaranteed?
Sorry, the internet went off. I don't think did you hear me all through the response?
I heard your response. If you didn't hear Hopal's response and you'd like for her to repeat it, please put it in the chat box and let us know. I mean, you can repeat it just in case, actually.
Okay, so you just talked about the scholarship. Can I get a scholarship at the Kaplan School and the university? Is it guaranteed? Yes. So if you follow through my presentation, I mentioned the scholarships we're able to offer. Because you're here today, you've responded to Nubi's call. We have an instant 1,500 scholarship for you if you're joining us in the January entry. Depending on the school you've also applied to, if you've applied to any of our Ivy League schools, as you may know it, the Russell Group schools, we can do up to £2,000. So there is some form of scholarship for you either way. And for the university, yes, the universities give what we know as the progression scholarship. Most times these scholarships are merit-based. So we advise students to try to do well, to put in every effort they can, the best of their efforts to make sure that they score their grades are very okay in order for them to benefit from the scholarship that they might get during the progression. And like I said, there's no exact amount at this time because it varies from university to university and it's totally at their discretion.
Thank you. Okay, so we have another question. And the question is, do you accept WAEC for Simmons and ASU?
Yes, we look at grades. We accept the WAEC results, but we also look at the last 3 years of secondary school, your GPA. So if it's above 3.0, then we can accept or 2.5 for the pathways. But the WAEC is not taken alone. We need to look at the transcripts as well.
Great, thank you. So we have another question from Julius in Ghana, and he's interested in studying a PhD in nursing at any reputable university in the US. Can you please offer him some advice?
Okay. I think we'll need to look at his documents. Possibly, we don't do a PhD. What I mean is we do not process PhD applications through this route. But again, if we know his history, maybe might recommend some master's program that he can do. So that's what I'm saying. PhD in nursing. Does he have a first degree in nursing already? We need more information.
Do you have a first degree in nursing? Feel free to unmute your mic so that you can give us more information.
Okay, thank you. This is Julius from Ghana.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, I have my first degree. Actually, I started with diploma in nursing. So I have a diploma in nursing, and then I proceeded to do my degree in nursing. And currently, I'm doing my Master of Science in nursing, and probably I'll complete next year by April.
Okay, so clarified. So that means a direct PhD program. So you might need to approach the university directly to, because for a PhD, you need to get a supervisor and all that. So you need to approach the university directly and look out for a supervisor that is available. But from this end, we're only able to facilitate for masters and undergraduates. We're not able to process PhD applications for the US. But for the UK, we have pre-PhD options, which Hopel was talking about, where we can get you, we can be able to get you a supervisor. So if you would also like to look at the UK option, we have the pre-doctorate program that's available. That's also a good one for you.
And please do not feel you're left in the lurch. You don't have to do this on your own. Like we have also stressed, you have the newbie team to assist you with this. So if you're applying through the pathways or you want to apply directly to university, the newbie team are always on ground to help you with this. In your case, you fall into the category of students who might want to talk to universities directly. Don't just go groping or searching the internet. You might get you might not get what you're looking for, or you might get even more confused. But you have the counselors who are experienced in this, and they've had this experience, they've been doing this for years, they'll assist you with this. So just where we're not able to provide solution to your educational needs, just go back to Nubi and they would assist you further.
Great, thank you so much, ladies. Julius, we will be in contact with you just to get more information and help you further. But I've also put our contact details in the chat box. So please do reach out to us at using that email address or any of the phone numbers. But Julius will be in touch with you. A member of our team will be in touch with you soon. Great. Do we have any more questions? Please feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself or put your questions in the chat box while we still have Hopel and Olubusola. Cool.
While we're waiting for questions, let's just chip in some talks about visas. Your visa application is another very important aspect of your admission process. It beats me sometimes why some students would have professionals at their disposal to assist them with this, and they decide to do it on their own. So we cannot stress enough, the importance of working closely with your counselor in this regard, and also the documents you are required to present, kindly make sure that they are not fraudulent, because that may adversely affect not just your present application, even your future ones. So I think we have a question. Yeah, we have a question. Is there an entry intake after January? I may not be ready for the January intake. Yes, we do have other options. We're just stressing January because that's the imminent one, the one just around the corner. well, no, there's one before January even. So if you are ready right now to start even this autumn, we have the late autumn entry. You can actually join us from next week. And the beauty of it is you can start online. So if you just apply now and obtain your offer and pay your fees, present the necessary documents required, you can start online while processing your visa to travel. So we still have the late autumn intake. How wonderful is that? But if you're not ready for that, if it seems too close for you, January is around the corner. But after the January intake, for some courses, we do have the summer intake, which runs between May, June, and July. But then we have our biggest intake, which is the September intake. So any of these that apply to you, you can apply for.
Great, thank you.
Eddie Chibo says, in terms of cost, which of the universities are relatively low in UK and the USA? Busola, do you want to answer that? Secondly, what should be the first step to commence the school admission process? So in terms of relatively low costs, I wouldn't know. What is low for you might not be low for me. That's a very generic question, but generally studying abroad is not cheap as maybe going to the supermarket to buy stuff. If you want to study abroad, yes, you should have the funds. Before looking out for what scholarships are available, you should have the funds. You should actually have made plans to be self-sponsored, or even if anyone is paying for your fees, you should have that plan to pay for your fees and your maintenance costs. So both for the UK and the USA, the same thing applies. For the UK, you are required to pay for your accommodation. For the USA, you are required to pay for your housing, and you're required to pay your tuition fees, whether it's immediately or when you get. In the case of the US, you may be required to pay just something minimal. That when you get to school, after you get your I-20 and all that, when you get to school, you still pay up. In any case, you have to pay your fees. So we've given the range of the fees. So it depends on what works for you. What I would suggest is to work with a budget. If you have a budget, let the counselor that is advising you what budget you're working with, and they will advise you accordingly and give you the schools the option that will work best for you. Yes, so the second part of your question says, what should be the first step to commence the school admission process? Get information. You've already taken the first step. You're here. So the first step now, you've taken the first step to get the information from the right source. So the next thing to do is to actually maybe speak further with the counselor, maybe to get more information if you are not clear enough, and then put in your application. Put in the application and get an offer. And that's if you have already made plans to, go for any of the intakes that we've mentioned, then we'll take it up from there. We do have the March intake. I'm just jumping to the next question real quick. We have the March intake for the UK. No, your questions are not so many. Please don't apologize at all. We're happy to answer your questions. That's why you're here. A lot of students have many lingering questions that they don't have answers to, and the mistake they make is they just go online. It's a social media age. I know we're all internet savvy. We have our phones just at our disposal. But it's not always the best when you're making like life-changing decisions like this. If this is something you need to be very deliberate about. So back to your question on the March intake, we have the March intake, which commences on the 26th of February. That's at the end of February and sips into early March. So yes, we do have the March intake. If you miss the January, you can join the March intake. And we accept 16-year-olds. So if you're 16 and above, you can always apply for our foundation program or any of the pathway programs that might, that you might fall under or that you might qualify for. So Julius has another question. Sorry, I've taken over. Feel free to jump in. Do you assist or guide an applicant through the scholarship process? Is it okay if you can assist me secure admission in the UK for my PhD in nursing? Of course. I mean, Nubi and Kaplan, we're here. That's what we do. every day. We're happy doing it. We're happy to assist students apply appropriately for their program. So if you're applying for the your PhD program in the UK, yes, qualified counselors in Nubi are on ground and are happy to help you with this. But your preceding question, the question you had asked before this says whether we can assist you through the scholarship process. I don't really understand that. Are you looking to apply to a scholarship body? If you're looking to apply to a scholarship body, yeah, if we know of anyone that are giving scholarships, we can, point you towards that direction. And students usually apply for this on their own. But in terms of the scholarship we give, it's not really a process thing. It's we'll look at what you have, and if you qualify for it, we'll let you know. If for the merit-based scholarships, students actually work towards it based on their grades. Once you start school, you are already working towards getting maybe the progression scholarship or whichever one may apply to you. But if you're applying to a scholarship body, you might have to do that on your own. There are very popular ones that are bound. If this is Julius from Ghana, I think, we'll know about the TED fund also in Ghana. So you can actually make some inquiries about the scholarship in your country that you can apply for.
Okay, thank you. So someone has asked a question, actually came privately to me, and they've asked, following up on Julius's question, what is the cost involved in your assistance? If this is for assistance in the application process, for those of you who are attending this session, Newbie Education is offering the application process at no extra cost to you if you've been at this fair session. So if you send us a message, an email, or you give us a call and let us know that you were in this session, then we would be doing the application processing fee would not be included for you. So I hope that answers your question, but Hopewell, please feel free to chime in as well on that question.
Yeah, I have something to say actually. I'm just excited for the attendees today. I mean, you're already getting scholarships just by attending this program. Nubi has given you one. So your application process is free. As long as you're here, you have that, already as a rebate for you. So please just take advantage of this. If you have someone that is sponsoring you, talk to them about what you've learned today. If they wish to speak with anyone on the team just to get further insights on what is required, please feel free to let them know. And time is of the essence because so many people are applying to study abroad, and that 1 day, 2 days might just make the difference for you. Yes, we have a lot of students that are applying, and please do not be left out or start groping, when you have come to the right place. So just take advantage.
Great, no problem, Eric. So does anybody have any more questions? Thank you for being so interactive and engaging with our representatives as well. Please keep your questions coming. We have a few more minutes, so please do keep your questions coming. We'll allow for a few more minutes for some questions to come in. Oh, please feel free to unmute your mic as well. You can use the audio and you can use the chat box as well. Just a reminder. Okay. Okay, so I have a question come in that says, is it possible to move with my wife? So move with a partner?
Okay, so yes, if I would suppose that you're applying for a postgraduate course, if you have a family already, Yeah, you can apply to the university directly. So yes, it's possible. People have traveled with their spouses and where they're going to study. So the counselors will help you to, give options of schools that they have the license for that. Kaplan doesn't have the license for that, for dependent visas as well. So we're only able to sponsor the students. But if you're looking to go with a
Can I
dependent,
come in there, Kopel?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
He can travel with the family, but he has to prove that he has the money to keep them, but the accommodation and feeding. That is what the UKVI requires of him. He will be able to prove that he has the fund to accommodate and feed the family.
So that's clear enough.
Great. We have a question. For the USA schools, I was told you don't accept a USA passport holder. Is that true?
Yes, to some extent that is true. With US citizens or students that have US passport holders can apply directly, but might not be able to apply through Kaplan, just because we are supposed to be recruiting international students. So if you have an American passport, even though you're a resident in Nigeria, that or anywhere else across West Africa, we might not be able to recruit through Kaplan. But then again, you can apply to the university directly. Can we assist with you? Okay, this is from Newbie Education.
Yes. We can assist with the USA passport holders and giving advice as well. Yes.
Yes.
Because Nubi is freelance actually. So Nubi works with Kaplan. Kaplan is not the only partner Nubi works with. Nubi works with a wide array of universities. So we are here to Busola and I are just talking about Kaplan because that's what we represent. But Nubi can also extend your search for you to other schools, other study destinations where Kaplan does not apply to you. So if you're a US passport holder and Kaplan is not able to accept you to the US, you're not able to go through the Kaplan route. There are other routes that can see you studying in the US. So like I said, wherever we can't help you, just go back to Nubi and you get sorted out.
Yes, thank you, Clara. Our contact details are in the chat box, so please go through the chat box and then you find our contact details, and we can also assist you with Kaplan universities or schools or whatever your need may be in terms of having the USA passport and wanting to apply with that. Julia, someone will be in touch with you shortly by email, and then you can converse on WhatsApp as well. So someone will be in touch with you shortly. Or feel free to send us a message privately on Zoom. You can choose to send a message privately with your best contact details as well. Do we have any more questions or anything that you think you might need clarification with the visa process, the application process, and even just settling in and integrating as well? Please do feel free to use this opportunity to ask both Hopel and Olubusola as well. Give a few minutes for people to ask questions. Okay. Thank you, Eric. Get your details down. Just give me 1 minute. Please let us know if you have any more questions. Julius, I'm just about to put in the chat box one of our phone numbers as well that you can WhatsApp. I'll confirm it's the right one. There you go. When I ask this question,
Okay, I think Eddie is still asking on this.
yes, I think he said it's his network went off.
Okay, okay. So
He didn't get the answer.
Maybe probably didn't get. So I will explain this again, Eddie. I hope your network won't go off this time. Are you still here? Oh, I can see you. All right. So in terms of cost, yes. Okay, as he's responded, yes. Thank you for doing that. And so in terms of cost, yeah, yes, we were saying that it's usually schooling abroad is something you need to plan towards. And usually you need to have a budget and work with your counselor as well. But please have in mind that, you know, based on research and also your budget should be something substantial. So minimum schools, I'll give you, for some of our mid-ranked schools in the UK now, we have tuition fees of about £13,000. That's tuition fees only. And the £13,000 is exclusive of accommodation, it's tuition fees alone. Depending on the course you want to study as well, if it's business or if it's science and engineering, the science and engineering courses are also usually higher than the business and social science courses. So that is why I cannot give you. So if you can type in the chat box, you know, what course you're looking at as well, that will also be a helpful. Please excuse me. That will also be, he wants to do an MBA. Okay, so that's a master's then. So a postgraduate program. So we're just drilling down to the point now. So I can check and also feedback to you through Nubi on our mid-ranked schools. But clearly, you seem to be looking. You have a budget you want to work with, and you need to be, maybe you're working towards that. So we can give you options. But for our mid-ranked schools, for various schools, the different schools are different. There's no one tuition fee. So it will be about 13,000, 14,000 for the MBA you've talked about. For a mid-ranked schools, is mid-ranked school, maybe like University of Bournemouth or Bournemouth University, maybe about £14,000. That is tuition only. You also need to make provision for accommodation. Accommodation should be between, depending on the type of accommodation you like, or maybe between another £6,000 to £7,000. If you add it to 14, you're already like looking about 22. So we usually tell students to plan between 22 to £25,000. For the US options, I will feedback through Nubi on that as well, so that you can look at the options for US. But clearly, you need to have your own budget, whilst so that your counselor can give you the right options that are available based on your budgets. So that will be my answer to you. I hope I've been helpful.
Yeah, so the part where we talked about, where he asked about the first step, what should be the first step to commence the school admission process? Like I mentioned, you've already taken the first step by attending this program. So the first step is to actually get the information you need, and you are at the right place because you're talking to professionals. You have the professional counselors that may be to also assist you. So you've taken the first step. Now the first real step is to apply. After getting the information, you apply for your chosen program. After speaking with your counselor, determining which of the programs you're applying for and that applies to you, send in your application in order to obtain your offer of admission. Then we'll take it up from there.
Great. Thank you both so much for your time and for answering all of the questions. Really appreciate the time that you've taken to give us this presentation, which was really great and informative, and the time you've taken to answer the questions and all the information you've given us. So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to our participants for joining us as well. It's been a really good session.
We're happy to be here. Thank you everyone for attending, and we look forward to welcoming you at any of the Kaplan schools.
Thank you, Hopel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kaplan is a family, and thank you for your presentation, which was very informative, like Tayo said. For those of you that want to go to US and then you can't get help for here, join the session tomorrow. With study group, they have US universities direct entry and up to PhD level. So we expect to see you tomorrow. Join study group tomorrow. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Great, Eddie. I've sent your number to our counseling team, so someone will be in touch with you shortly as well.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. No problem.